So hello again, and another shot of my watch face today, and there you go, and on to the video. So hello again, and I thought I would do a quick video on the film industry and where some films receive funding from the tobacco lobby industry. And I thought to myself, should I talk about this? What's its relevance? And I thought it's an interesting take on what society, what industry thinks about what should be censored, what's in the public's interest, what's in the public's health interests. And over the years, if you've been watching films, feature films, for example, and I suppose I'm talking about films that were made in the early 2000s and onwards. And because as we know, for the last 20, 30 years, smoking, for example, has been related to lung cancer and blood-related diseases. Basically, if the NHS of England in the UK, it claims that if you smoke cigarettes, the likelihood of you getting a lung cancer or a blood-related cancer directly related to smoking is almost certain. The NHS in England literally views a smoker as someone that is going to cost the NHS more money because they are going to be ill because of smoking. And I suppose it's easy, you know, we don't, the man in the street doesn't really have to think about, is smoking a good idea? Is it healthy? We know that it's really, really unhealthy. It's very addictive because of the chemicals in cigarettes, and there is absolutely no benefit to this product or this habit, this behaviour. But yet society has accepted it as a thing that some people do, and you know we seem to be okay with it. We seem to be okay with the fact that you can choose to purchase this very expensive product. You can smoke it, quickly you become addicted, and it will give you lung cancer or a blood-related cancer that is associated to smoking cigarettes. So if you think about it, I'm going to actually mention alcohol at this point. Many times I've spoken to people, you know, general topics about healthcare, but often the sentence, if alcohol was invented today, it would never get through FDA approval. It would never be approved for common public consumption. I suppose like cigarettes, if they were invented today, you know, they would never get through FDA approval because I mean, it's interesting to think that, you know, we wouldn't be allowed to take alcohol. You know, maybe society has got used to the effects of alcohol, and, you know, it's a very big social thing also. But if you actually look at what it is, the alcohol is really a poison, and when you drink so much of it, you know, there are side effects. It isn't good for you. So you can see where I'm going with this video. There are things that society seems to accept, and you know, we will say things like, well, it's a choice. You know, if somebody wants to smoke cigarettes, and you know, that's fine. If they get lung cancer, at least, you know, that was their decision. And with cigarettes, there's also the risk of passive smoking, because if you're indoors, a cigarette that's been smoked by a person, everybody else in that room is going to inhale, you know, those poisonous chemicals. So it seems that, you know, we do things in society that are very unhealthy. It doesn't make sense that we do them, but they are accepted. And So this is, this is the backdrop really to the point I'm going to make now. But if you've been watching movies over the last 20 years, often you will see a main character or another main character in the film, and this character will be smoking cigarettes. Now, often when I watch a movie and I see the main character smoking, I often think, in real life, this person would never smoke cigarettes because, it's just not what they would do. In particular, the biggest example of this is in the film Avatar. Sigourney Weaver is a scientist, and she is the only person in that movie that is smoking a cigarette. And it's just completely out of place. That character would never in a million years be smoking cigarettes. And also, the movie's set well into the future. And, if we look at because most people in the West don't smoke anyway, it's something that is declining. But then I heard that the makers of that film were paid a fortune by the tobacco lobby industry, basically by the tobacco industry, to have a character in that film smoking cigarettes. And it made me think, what a thing for the filmmakers to have done, to have allowed themselves to make a character do something that is so out of character, that is so, this character would never have done that. And it just looks so blatant that the character was smoking on purpose because they've been paid to do so. I mean, this is my opinion. And but I've watched so many other films and seen the main character smoking cigarettes, and I've thought, yeah, this behaviour does not fit the character, and it looks like the film director, the film production company, were paid money to include that behaviour to a character, and sure enough. When you actually dig a bit deeper, you find out that part of the filming budget was actually paid for indirectly by a tobacco company. So I do find it very interesting. I wonder what it means for the future. Perhaps one day drugs will be, drug manufacturers will be sponsoring characters with drug problems or continually taking a medicine. In fact, I've just said something that probably exists anyway. So, it is quite amazing that this happens. Anyway, I just thought I would mention that. It's a point of interest. I do find it amazing. And I thought that I was going to wrap this into another conversation about how advertising has some dark and grey corners. So I probably will mention this example once again. And I suppose I should stress that, I can't really, take the opinion that if someone is smoking cigarettes, it's not a good thing and they shouldn't do it. Well, I suppose I can have that as an opinion, but I can't impose my opinion on other people. And so I have to say, if you choose to smoke cigarettes, that's totally fine. I suppose that's, it's not right that I hold judgment. And, I'm a person that supports, freedom, and we should all have informed choice. So that'd be very hypocritical of me to really suggest that people, should not smoke. But so it's really just my opinion. We shouldn't be smoking. That's my opinion, but I understand completely that other people, make that choice, and maybe there's something good about it. Actually, this is just making me think about, the tobacco industry side. Makes me think about companies that make cigarettes, and it's because I actually, in a business context, came across someone that worked for a tobacco company, and I remembered at the back of my mind thinking, how can this person go to sleep at night? Because all they are doing is peddling tobacco and cigarettes, and ultimately someone is going to have lung cancer because of what this person is doing and what they are peddling. And I did want to ask them, had they ever chosen to, work for a different industry? And I thought that my question was out of place, so I didn't ask them. But I did remember thinking, what a terrible employer you must have. Actually, I imagine that, the people and the business is quite pleasant. It's only the product that has risks. And I suppose then an argument by someone might be, well, Stephen, what about, there are many products that are dangerous if they're used incorrectly. And, would you have judgment on them? So I understand the position I'm in, and I'm offering judgments that perhaps I shouldn't. I shouldn't be so judgmental. But I do think that the tobacco industry funding films and paying production companies, paying the film industry to make characters in films that smoke cigarettes, I do find that ethically questionable. And it makes me, number one, think, is it right that these harmful products are being marketed this way? But number two, for me, it spoils the film. Because the character, often I look at the character and think that character would not be smoking. It doesn't fit with that type of character. And I always think, I bet the director or the film production company, were paid to install that behaviour, and so that's why it spoils the film for me. It's just my opinion, and I'm aware that these are my opinions, and I don't wish to impose them, in a negative way on anyone. I'm just showing my opinion. And anyway, I don't know if I will post this, but if I do, I hope it's received the way that I intend it to receive. So the point of the video is it's interesting that society and governments view some products that we know to be harmful and dangerous, but seems to have an easy attitude towards them, and allows them to be sold largely with little restriction. So I do find that interesting. I suppose I'm also pointing at society a little bit. Why is it that in the face of information about cigarettes, that they are harmful and unhealthy, people still choose to smoke? So I suppose that's a sociology question, a psychology question. Why do people do something that they know to be harmful? So that's another conversation, I suppose. Anyway, I shall end the video there. I hope this video comes across okay. I'm really just talking about harmful things that we still have in society, that we still allow to be marketed, and I question that. And that's really the point I'm making. Anyway, I hope everyone is well, and speak again.